Hello everyone, this is What If and Stuff. Coming back at you with part 2 of What If Deku was General Grievous. Let's continue. In the last part, Deku, he got scolded at school for being quirkless. Pretty common in the MHA universe. Anyways, after he went to his room, after a complete mental breakdown, he unlocks his door eventually when he's done. Inko kind of cracks it and says, "Hey kid, you okay?" Deku says, "Yeah, Mom, I'm fine." Inko says, "Okay, how'd your first day at school go?" Deku he says, "Oh, it was fine." Inko says, That's not very believing, if you ask me." Deku says, "Nah, not really, it wasn't." She says, "Do you want to talk about it?" Deku says, "No, I'm good. Thank you for checking up on me, though." Inko says, "You're welcome, Izuku. Love you." Deku says, "Love you too, Mom." Inko leaves Deku to be. Well, after that, every day is almost pretty consistently the same, all the way through kindergarten, first, second, third, and all of fourth. At the end of fourth grade, that day right before summer, everyone's kind of there, but not really. Those days? Yeah, it's those days of school. Bakugo happens to be there too. But after middle of third grade, he kind of laid off of being an ass to Deku. Fourth grade, they started warming up to each other again. Well, again, I meant for the first time they start warming up to each other. They do hang out after school a lot. Well, every other week, really. Like once or twice. So they're starting to become friends. Frenemies friends, kind of. Like frenemies, but leaning a little more to the friend side. I mean, Bakugo does sometimes kind of pick on him about it, but more playfully than he was originally. As those days, the end of school, where everyone's there, but not really. Deku, waiting for his mom to pull up, he's actually waiting on someone to pull up for him. Inko called him earlier that day and said that she won't be able to pick him up. A family friend will. Well, while he was waiting for this family friend, he gets surrounded by a group of 5 different children, all very flashy and powerful quirks. They're picking on him, making fun of him, just treating him like absolute crap. And this is a new bar for Deku. A bar he can't really take yet. So he starts aimlessly running. And, well, he runs. Here's a horn just to his left before a sudden, really sharp and powerful pain as it just goes throughout his body. and then two heavy objects roll right over him. And just a few seconds later, from the amount of pain, Deku passes out. When Deku wakes up again, he's greeted by a doctor, or what seems to be a doctor, wearing a very intimidating mask at first. Deku's kind of starting to want to move, trying to scoot away from this creepy guy, but he can't move. The doctor says, please don't try to move. It's gonna damage your body even more than it already is. Deku says, how bad is it, as he looks at himself? The doctor was not kidding. His body is, well, forgive my French, but it's absolutely fucked. There's no way he's probably going to be able to live a normal life with this kind of injury, per se. Deku's weirded out because he doesn't feel any pain. The doctor says, I got a cocktail of various anesthetics, so you can't feel anything at all. Deku looks at the doctor and says, where's my mom? The doctor says, she is just being notified right now. You were flown here immediately, like not even a minute after what happened to you. Deku says, okay. Wow, you guys must have responded quick. Well, that's what happens when you got the top line of paramedics on ready. Would you like some TV? The doctor asks. Deku thinks for a second, says, yeah, I'd like some TV. The doctor says, okay. Rolls in a cart with a TV on it. Turns it on. As soon as he turns it on, a voice to the left goes, excuse me, doctor. You're needed in another room. The doctor says, coming, as he turns on the TV, leaves the remote. And it's stuck on the news. Deku tries to get the doctor's attention about it, because he wants to watch cartoons, not the news. Deku tries for another few seconds, nothing. Out of boredom, he watches the news. Normal corporate news going on about, low petty crime throughout the city. Then breaking news happens. Like breaking news, it's all of a sudden there appears to be a major villain attack. And Deku recognizes it. He recognizes the area immediately. And the anchormen and women say, hold on. We're just now getting live feed of this attack on the ground. Let's take a look. It shows the attack, multiple villains trashing the place, bringing down buildings. Just building after building. And it's getting closer to what Deku recognizes as his apartment. Kachan. bursts from the bottom angle, running up to one of the villains, tries blowing him up. Not very successful. But he still managed to get past the villain, roaring, Miss Midoriya. Miss Midoriya. Inko steps outside, looking around at all the commotion in complete confusion and shock. And then, a huge explosion, blowing up the entire city block. And the epicenter was, well, Izuku's apartment, blowing everything away, villain and citizen alike. Deku is roaring at the TV, saddened, enraged, because he knows he just literally saw his friend and mom die, and basically his entire neighborhood, who's actually kind of treated him good, just get wiped. The doctor rushes in immediately, switches it to the cartoon channel. Him, seeming kind of horrified himself, puts it on the cart, saying, "Sorry about that, Izuku. Wasn't aware that it was on the news. I was watching the news earlier today." But Deku is completely paralyzed, out of fear, anger, and grief. The doctor asks, "What's wrong?" Izuku says, "That was my mom. In the explosion, that was my mom." The masked doctor looks at the TV for a second, switches it back to the news. It's a live helicopter feed. It's the entire block has been leveled, and surrounding blocks severely damaged. The doctor says, "That's your neighborhood?" Izuku says, while his tears start streaming from his face, "Yes." As he lays there grieving, the doctor says, "Oh my, this is quite a predicament. Do you know anybody else that could..." Wow. Deku is basically distraught. So distraught that everything to him is basically going blank. You know, like how in some movies when someone told they got cancer or something, and like the doctor's or nurse's voice is fading out as the shock's setting in. Yeah, that's kind of happening with Deku, as he's grieving out loud, and quite horrifically too. And, well, the doctor comes to his right. There's a desk there. Presses a button. Deku's out. And while he's out, Izuku has, well, a bit of a dream. You know, he can't tell if his mind is being tampered with, but he can't tell at all. He doesn't even know if it's being tampered with. But that's basically kind of what's happening here. But his train of thought is going through. Who could have done this? Why did they do this? Were the heroes there? Why weren't the heroes there? Did the heroes even care? Did the heroes even have any intention on stopping any of it? The only hero I see there, or even with potential to become a hero, was Kachan. But no other heroes. No one. Heroes probably don't even care. And, well, he's beginning to build a lot of rage towards just the heroes. All of them. Past, present, and future heroes. All except for Kachan. Kachan is, well... Kachan's the only one he respects then. Because, well, he's the only one who actually fought back. Tried to do anything about it. And due to it, his life was ended short, too. At that moment, Deku kind of takes up a little vow to himself. He wants to end all heroes. He wants to end heroism completely. No matter what it takes. When he wakes up, he's greeted by the doctor and he says, "Are you okay, Izuku?" Izuku says, "Yeah, I'm fine." The doctor says, "Great. Well, we tried contacting anybody that you might have known. No one's picking up the phone." Oh yeah, and Izuku's dad, well, let's just say he went to the convenience store to get some milk. Anyways. Izuku, now with literally no one. He says, "Is there any way to fix me?" The doctor says it's an experimental program, but it's very, very testy. Deku says, "Sign me up." The doctor asks, "You're enraged.